a little update. I have my Canon Legria Mini in the window mount of my car, so that's kind of cool. There have not been very much things going on except from work and work and work and work. So what you're gonna do to make money is actually work. I think that's the key to make some money and even be able to do some savings as well. The summer is almost here now, so I have plans to take some time off of work this summer as well. So I guess that's a great idea. I was thinking the other day that people talking about buying guitar amps, what should they buy, and they are asking for what's the best amp. I mean, there is no answer to that question. What is the best amp? Because it all depends on what sound you're looking for. What type of music do you play? All this stuff is kind of like, that's what you need to know before it's time to buy an amplifier. So let's say, for instance, you play hard rock or metal, you know, the harder stuff. Maybe you would like to go with a high gain amplifier if you are going to use all the built-in channels on your amplifier. If you're not going to use the crunch and the distortion channels, you don't need an amplifier with more channels than one. That's the truth. Most guitar amps, of course, have 2 channels, but you're not really looking for a high gain amplifier if you are going to hook up some distortion pedals and that kind of stuff. If you're looking for a high gain distortion amplifier head, I think you should look more into Marshall 410 Engel Fireball 2. I think you should go ahead and look for Randall 667. I think you would go ahead and look for all these types of amplifiers that is well known in the hard rock and metal culture. So with that said, I think that you are looking for 50 to 100 watts guitar amplifier head and a 4x12 cabinet. And something that is very important, most people that buy a great guitar amplifier head, such as Marshall DSL 100 or, you know, Engel or whatever, the only thing that they don't understand is it doesn't really matter what guitar head you're buying, as long as you are buying a cheap branded 4x12 cabinet. Because if you don't have a great 4x12 cabinet or any cabinet, the amplifier will not be able to deliver the sound you are expecting from that particular amplifier. So if you buy a 100 watt Marshall all tube amp and you're buying something like a cheap Bugera 4x12 cabinet or something like that for a couple of $100 or so, you are going to be very disappointed. And that's when you are going to think that the amplifier doesn't really give the sound you're looking for. That's actually wrong, because the sound you are listening to that you don't like is most likely the sound that's coming through that Bugera 4x12 cabinet that is made out of very, very thin material. When you're cranking the amplifier, the walls in the cabinet start flapping like this, and it's not sealed all around or anything, and loudspeaker elements is most likely some cheap crap. So that's not a great idea. You will not get the sound that you are looking for when you are buying a Marshall or Engel or Randall or whatever you are buying, as long as it's a great branded all-tube amp. So I think the key to have some great stuff, no matter brand, I think that is go with a great branded high quality 4x12 cabinet or 2x12 if that's what you're looking for. So I really think that that's the key to a great sound, or I mean, the cabinet is very, very important depending on what sound you're looking for. So there is no answer on what's the best amp, but a good way to look is what I told you just a minute ago. Well, the conclusion, so to speak, is actually, I really think it's more important what type of cabinet you have than what type of amplifier you have. Because if you're going to hook up some distortion pedals between your guitar and the amp, it doesn't really matter what type of amp you're using, because it's the sound itself that comes from the pedals that you are looking for. I mean, there is a couple of thousand different types of distortion pedals. There is not one single pedal that is sounding exactly the same as the other one. So when you're using pedals, I don't really think it's very important what type of amp you're using, because it's the pedal itself that gives the character you're looking for. But one thing's for sure, if you're looking for the difference between EL34 tubes and 6L6 tubes and so on, I think you would start to look on the amplifier that has these type of tubes that you are looking for. That's kind of like the base. It's kind of like the base of everything. So when you got the base, you put up a guitar head, amplifier head, and you like the EL34s, for instance. Well, then you got your amp with EL34s. Then you can start to elaborate with all the pedals. So it's not very easy to ask someone what's the best amp, because I don't have an answer on that. Cheap cabinets, I mean, you can chop up the cheap cabinet and maybe make the wood to making a little bonfire or something like that. I think that's what is possible way to do it. I think you should go ahead and buy a high quality cabinet. I mean, it costs maybe 200-300% more than a cheap cabinet, but the sound is going to be super awesome. It's going to be like that. I mean, it's going to be awesome. So that's just a little tip. So I don't have time for this anymore. I gotta stop talking now and do something else. So yeah, see you next time. Bye.